right, y'all. Y'all saw the thumbnail. You already know what I'm about to get into. Oh man, I watched two games. I watched two games today. I watched the Rams versus Eagles, and I'm not gonna hold you. I fell asleep a little bit on some parts of it. It was just too boring. Rams tried to step it up, and they didn't execute. And the only reason why I'm not even talking about the Rams and um, Eagles is simply because honestly, it ain't really much to talk about except Rams just couldn't get it done. And mind you, the snow didn't help either. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. Now, as far as Bills and Ravens go, to be honest with you, I don't really have as much to say as I did yesterday's game with the Lions versus the Commanders. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie. I woke up this morning and the first thing I thought was um, the Lions and pretty much how they just couldn't get it done. Not gonna hold you. I woke up a little bit numb about that too, about that loss. The loss still hurts, but it's always next year. They just, I guess, couldn't get it done. Now we're gonna go ahead and talk about Bills versus Baltimore. The first quarter was a promising start. Um, the what is it? Um, Ravens, they struck first. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you know what? I don't know, man. I have plenty to say. But anyways, comment on the comment section below. What do you think of today's game? What do you think? Um, Bruno, what's up? How you doing? I can't pronounce your name. Ola, what's up, man? Um, Monkey Eli, what's good with you? Teresa, how you doing? Um, Random person. Today's pad is fine, to be honest. Um, you know, oh, Louis Yam Julia, what's good? Welcome to my channel. All right. To be honest, I'm not gonna hold you. The Bills and Ravens, it was good. It was good. You know what I'm saying? Ravens, they put up one hell of a fight. You know what I'm saying? And what's funny is that at the same time, like they were there was some mistakes, but who doesn't make a mistake? But then at the same time, like I feel like it's this. I feel like now they went back and forth for a minute and they both scored in the first quarter. Now, once Lamar Jackson, he did an interception or he fumbled the ball, whatever the case is, and then Buffalo came in and swiped it and stuff like that. I feel like they haven't came back fully. They haven't really come back completely. Not like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so many. I'm not gonna say it wasn't so many. It was so many mistakes. It was a few that was noticeable. Now, Lamar Jackson, he's known for choking in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He's known for that. But I still think he's a good player. I still think that, he's one of the best quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, too, Like, to be honest with you, I don't even want to go. This is kind of typical of mine, where every time they're in the playoffs, all of a sudden he chokes in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And they have to get over this hump. And it's not just the Lions that gotta get over a certain hump. It's the Baltimore Ravens. They have to get over this hump because every single time they enter the playoffs, they always choke, and they're known for that. You know what I'm saying? And they made it this far, and it's just they couldn't execute it. They couldn't execute certain plays. Like, for instance, I don't know. I mean, and this is just me personally. If you're down by 2 points or 3 points or whatever, I still wouldn't go for that 2 point conversion. And I'm talking about the one in the fourth quarter. They went for a 2 point conversion and they couldn't execute that. I would have just went for the one just because, in case if only because like you still got enough time on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just get the one, just call it a day. Now that was one of their mistakes, and then it was another mistake, and it's not on Lamar's part either. One of the mistakes was when Lamar threw it. He threw it to Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews he could have easily held on to the ball, and he could not hold on to the ball. Now I get it that the ball might at this point might be hard rock and it's cold out and it's snowing. I get that. But then at the same time, like if you want to win, you're gonna have to make the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Andrews, when he and the Bills, they were celebrating and they were celebrating the fumble and they got the ball. Mark Andrews, he just walked over. He knew he fucked up, but that was not a one-time thing. Well, before when they scored a touchdown within the last minute and a half, I something told me that Lamar was going to throw it to Mark Andrews for that 2 point conversion to tie it up. Well, they did get the touchdown, but that 2 point conversion, and it's like wow, that it was crazy too, because I was telling my uncle, I said, you know what, even if they get the 6 points, I don't think they're gonna get the two. And then blowing the hole, they did not get the two, and he passed it right to Mark Andrews, who once again had the catch, but you couldn't execute that catch. It's like, bro, you gotta play to win. You gotta execute it. You gotta know what you're getting into. Now, granted, you know these 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 games they booked at least. I mean, not booked, but they're planned like at least a week in advance. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, I don't think they even thought to check the weather. Now, granted, the weather changes, from time to time, but then at the same time, it's like, well, you didn't even. It was almost like they came in not knowing what to expect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like we know Buffalo Bills. We know that they're used to it. They played in the snow. They playing in you know what I'm saying? Like they played in the snow, especially against Stafford, and they still won. They do great in the snow, but it's just with Baltimore, they wouldn't play in their Baltimore as like they wouldn't play into what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't really playing like they usually do. You know what I'm saying? And Derrick Henry, that's another one who I felt like he should have been utilized just a little bit more, in my honest opinion. You know what I'm saying? And Derrick Henry, he's a big motherfucker. And it's just certain things, They couldn't execute well, you know what I'm saying? But they still nevertheless, they still played a good game. Now, Bills on the other hand, the Bills, they came to play. You know, they were at home. Even they were at home. The one thing I admire about the Bills is that they didn't get too comfortable. See, they didn't get too comfortable playing at home. They're playing like as if they're trying to win. They came to win. Now, there was a few instances where Josh Allen he threw it a little bit too soft. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time most of the time it was executed, but it could have been just a tad bit better, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And Josh Allen, mind you, he's up for MVP, and I think he might have MVP in the bag, man. I think he has it in the bag. Either him or Saquon, one of them. One of them might be, in the bag. So, um, there's really not much to say about this game, not too much, but it's a good game. You know what I'm saying? It's a very good game. Me personally, I enjoyed it, but it was just a couple of things that I'm like, I don't know. There was a couple of things that kind of like grind my gears a little bit, but at the end of the day, Bills won. Now they got to go against the Chiefs. Now that's going to be tricky. Now, if a Josh Allen and his team, the way they played today, um, to be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, I can't really say too much right now at this point. This game could be unpredictable. The battle of I know the Lions. Yeah, I was just talking about the Lions. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I actually have a reaction to that. I made a reaction live video. So feel free to check it out. But yeah, the Lions, I'm still a little devastated by it. You know what I'm saying? And it is crazy too. Like, cause now it's like, well, what teams do we root for now at this point? Well, what teams are we gonna watch, and who's going to the Super Bowl? Everybody thought Lions versus Chiefs. That's what everybody thought. They thought Lions versus Chiefs. Me personally, I thought Lions versus Chiefs. But at this point, I don't, you know, it's not happening. So it has to be Lions versus somebody. And who knows? Maybe it might be Commanders versus Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. And it's funny too because I was telling them I woke up in the morning. I woke up this morning. I felt a little numb because you know what I mean. Like you're so used to a routine. You're so used to watching the Lions, and you're so used to be excited that we're winning games. Now it's just when we don't win the big games, it's like, what can we do? Like, what at this point, like, what's going on? And not gonna lie, the Lions, and it's sad to say, and I'm a Lions fan too. It's sad to say we choke too during, when it comes to playoffs. We choke. We never went to the Super Bowl. And we got to get over this hump. You know what I'm saying? We got to get over the hump. And to me personally, if you want my honest opinion, I feel like we should have kept Teddy Bridgewater in there. Because if we would have kept Teddy Bridgewater, we might have had a chance to win last night. But we did not. We didn't have. There was no chance after a while. And everybody just gave up. So I know. I'm still a little mad, sad about it, but it is what it is. I mean, it's always next year, but who knows? If it's not next year, it'll be 2027. I don't know. I don't know. But Tony asked, have I ever liked somebody a lot, but you realize you got cut ties, they seem too good for you? Um, no. Mm-mm. I've liked somebody, what I'm saying, but as far as cutting ties, not really, because it's more like, well, okay, I'll put it this way. I took I'll take a few steps back. I don't know, because if a woman was to show me that she liked me and stuff, then I wouldn't really fall back. I'll just execute it. So if she tell me off rip, hey, I have a crush on you, then I mean, if I feel the same way, then I feel the same way. And if I don't feel the same way, I would tell them, be like, well, I appreciate it, but I don't feel the same way. I had to tell a couple women that, it's just no offense. It's just the attraction has to be there. If it's not there, then it's not there. And if it is there, see, the thing is, if I like somebody, and there's plenty of women that I've liked, but it's one of those things. So it's like, and I always find like something's off. I don't know what it is. I want to further investigate, and then the moment they do something out of pocket, that's it. That's a wrap. So I'm not dealing with that. So um, the Bills now they're gonna face the Kansas City Chiefs, which I mean they beat them in the regular season, but I have a feeling that possibly it's going to be either it's going to be Chiefs versus maybe, and I say maybe, um, Philadelphia Eagles. And if it happens like that, then the stuff's rigged. So I don't know. It's not much to say about this game because it was a good game. You know what I'm saying? And but it's just Ravens. They came up short, which it is what it is. It is what it is, type of thing. But when you come up short like that, it's like, well, and you can't really. I mean, can you blame it on the weather conditions? I mean, maybe, but then at the same time, it's like, well, it goes back to whether you want to win or not. Because if you really wanted to win, then you would have, try find a way to work through it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't just play at a medium level and then expect to win. You can't do that. Like you gotta give it your all. You gotta be gritty. You gotta be hungry. You know what I'm saying? If you're not that hungry, here's the thing. If you're not even hungry at all, why be in the game? Period. Why play? If you're somewhat hungry, then your heart's still not in it. But if you're hungry, but you want to play light. You want to you if you're hungry without playing the grittiness, thinking you're gonna slide by, you can't do that because you're not gonna really necessarily win games like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. You gotta come in there hungry. You gotta come in there real hungry. You gotta come in there ready to go. Don't matter what the regular conditions is. So you came to play. You're making all this money, and you can't really. I mean, everybody makes mistakes and all that, but you just gotta execute the plays. You gotta try your hardest. Because the more you try, the more you're gonna execute stuff. And the more you execute stuff, then it's gonna be a little bit easier to have that mindset for the next game. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Taylor Swift, yeah, she's gonna win it. She's paying them. You know, she's a billionaire, so she's definitely paying them. So I think so. And as long as she's involved, then no. Mm-mm. I don't think unless if I don't know. Let's just say if it was, I don't know. If Patrick Mahomes is going to get it this year, let him get it. And but I don't think he's going to go for a fourth because after a while, it's like don't you get bored with the Super Bowl? And it's like, well, um, it's like, well, to be honest with you, nobody could get bored with the Super Bowl. But as us fans, people are gonna be bored watching the same people go to the same teams go to the Super Bowl because after a while, not only you're gonna be losing money, and people are not gonna see this, but you're pretty much now we know that the NFL is pretty much rigged at this point. And it's it's sad because you have the hardest working teams, you know, well you got now you're down to, in my opinion, you're down to like at least two hardest working teams that are fighting for a Super Bowl chance, but then yet you still got to get through two teams that I don't, in my opinion, I don't think should have made it in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. We'll see how this plays out next weekend and stuff. So who knows? A lot could happen. A lot could ride. A lot riding on this. So I am going to actually get off this live stream right here and stuff like that. So who do you have going to the Super Bowl? Comment on the comment section on this video and stuff like that. Um, maybe by next week. Yeah, definitely next week I'll come back on here and do another video and stuff. But I'm gonna answer one more question and um then I'm gonna get out of here. Tony says, "Do I think basketball is rigged?" Oh hell yeah, it is rigged. A lot of people do, but how can you fake a jump shot? I mean, yeah, you miss on purpose, but I don't see how you could get a guaranteed basketball. With basketball, I feel like it is rigged, but how can you fake a jump shot? That's a good question. And it's like at the same time, it's how can people flop you when the other guy is barely even touching you and they call a foul? So I don't know. That's another discussion that that's another discussion for a different day, definitely. But that's a good question though. So I feel like most of the sports, if not all the sports, are pretty much rigged, in my honest opinion. So I'm gonna get off right here. I'm gonna get off this live stream. So thank you guys for I can't even talk today. Thank you guys so much for coming on here and stuff like that. Like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube page. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next live stream. Peace out.